another one. This time we're going to work on a return script. It'll be a tutorial. We're going to work our way through this. I'm kind of shocked that we don't have this, but this is like anything you build that's interactive should start with this script and then build onto it. I end up inadvertently always having to write this onto my other scripts. Now, yeah, that's where we're going to start with that. So without further ado, let's jump in. Here we are, and you can see we've got this cool little bouncy ball, world simulation on, preview from here, and we can go and grab our ball, press Q and throw, and it bounces around, but it never comes back, and that is a bit of a problem. Now, interestingly, I thought I had lowered this to the point where it wasn't going to bounce when I started the world. I was surprised. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to do. That's weird. Curious what it'll do actually on world start when this is a published world, but anyway, you might want to put like a little barrier to keep this on the platform, or don't put it on a platform. So anywho, we've got this object. We need it to return. The easiest way to attach a script is go down here and click New Script, and we're just going to call this return underscore entity and press Create and Attach. All right. I will show you a couple things while we wait for that script to compile. Here we've set the ball up with some basic values. I applied a texture using select texture. It's set to physics and grabbable. It's got gravity turned on. I selected a rubber ball from the physics material. I increased the bounciness to 0.9 so it would bounce a little bit more. And I think that's all I changed. Now that we have this available, we can click Edit Script. Let's get that to open up here in VS Code. And the first thing I do whenever I have a new script is Control X, delete the first line. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Control period. Although I've heard some of you say this doesn't work, you can then click Enter. If it doesn't work for you, you can backspace the T, retype the T, and click Enter. Either or will get you that import line at the top. Control Save. All right, now that we have that set up, it's time to think about any properties. And because this is going to be a script as part of our template world, I think we need some defaults that you can change from the properties panel, like return duration milliseconds, and then we can go curly braces and then say type. Sorry, I'm on a different computer, so the audio is bad and the typing is bad because I'm so bad at typing on this keyboard. Prop text dot number, there we go, comma, default. I guess on the upside it does slow me down, which is good for the video. So the return duration milliseconds, we're going to start with a duration of 3 seconds, so that way we can make this easy to watch and we don't have to wait too long. And then on start, we don't need to do anything, but we do need to know pre-start because we need to know when the object has been released. So let's go pre-start. And in pre-start, we want to look for grab start and grab end. We're then going to connect those to local methods. So let's start by creating the local methods. I have these memorized, so I know it's grab start, parentheses, is right-handed, colon boolean, comma player, colon player. Oops, Control Z, like I said, really bad at this computer. Enter, and curly braces, there we go. And then we'll do a grab end. I just keep telling myself that if I do this more often with this computer, I'll get better. And then I heard the audio this morning and I was like, maybe I don't want to use this computer too often. Anyways, we got our grab start and grab end methods. We need to connect them in pre-start. So we say connect code block event, parentheses, this dot entity, comma, code block events dot grab start, Control Z, because I keep messing up. There we are, grab start, enter. And then comma, parentheses, it receives 2 parameters, is right-handed, and the player. We can then pass that via arrow function, curly braces, and then call grab start, and pass in parameters is right-handed, comma, and player. And just to build up some muscle memory, because this is what I recommend you guys do, I'm going to actually type this next line out just to get more familiar with this keyboard, parentheses, this dot entity, comma. And I think this is a good moment to mention that this dot entity is where this is coming from, because this object, this script running this is a grabbable entity. So self, or this dot entity referring to self, is the thing that will have the grabbing occurring on it. And if you added something as a property, that's not going to allow you to receive grab start. You'd have to refer to that property to receive it off of that. I've just seen that quite a few times, so I wanted to make sure I clarified that for anybody. All right, on grab end, and then we need two parameters, just player this time, since they aren't grabbing it anymore. And then curly braces, we can then say grab end, parentheses player, pass the parameter, add a semicolon if you like semicolons, shift alt F if you want to make it pretty. It looks like I already did. And now we've connected our grab start and grab end. Now, to do a return, you really just need grab end. So let's start by creating, and we don't want to call this return anymore. Like in code blocks, it was fine, but because return has a completely different meaning in TypeScript, we want to use the word respawn. So I really shouldn't even call this return entity. I should actually rename this. Rename symbol, respawn entity. There we go. Then I'll rename the script itself, right click, rename. Just got to get in a better habit here, respawn entity, because return ends like a line. It just stops things from going further. Anyway, so we got our respawn method ready to go. Let's start by going into here to rename some of the things. Like this return text should now be respawn and Control C, Control V. Just want to go fix a bunch of things because the word return is wrong. Wrong to use when we're coding in TypeScript. Okay, so now that that's done, heading back over here to VS Code. To get this to work, oh, one last thing, sorry. On the rainbow bouncy ball, we do need to make sure to re-reference the script. This is the wrong script. As you'll notice, it doesn't have any parameters. So we need to remove the script and then click attach and then attach that respawn script. There we go. We can see our return duration. Cool. All right. And so to respawn, we need to know where we started from. And so what I like to do is create a couple parameters here, like origin position equals vec3.0, Control C, Control I meant to go Control C, Control V, but apparently I hit the wrong key. And then this will be origin rotation or origin rot, which will be a quaternion. And you'll note that a zeroed out quaternion is actually quaternion 1. I know it's confusing, but just remember quaternion.1 is equal to like vec3.0. And now that we've got those two set up, we can then on start update them to be the correct value. So we can say origin position. Oh my goodness, I really am frustrated with this keyboard. Origin position equals this dot entity dot position dot get parentheses. It's way harder for me because I've been doing this a lot off camera for the last few days too. Origin rotation equals, and then we'll go to this dot entity dot rotation dot get. All right, now that we've saved our origin position, origin rotation, we can respawn. And so in respawn, we say this dot entity dot position dot set parentheses to origin position. Now I know there's a lot more we have to do to this, so I just want to get this working so you can see, oh wow, that's working. There we go, origin rotation. Sorry, I meant to type. I got lost in my thoughts because I don't like what I would normally do is finish the script and then test it, but just to show you guys like the steps to get there. If this was your first time, you'd want to start by having, okay, here's the respawn method. It's going to move and rotate back to the origin position. On grab end, we want to do that after a delay. So we'd say async dot set timeout parentheses arrow function curly braces. So like I'm going to be intentionally making some mistakes here. So if you see the mistakes, good job. But if you don't see them, I'll show you them here in a minute. So in our set timeout, if you haven't seen this before, you should definitely watch some more of the earlier tutorials. But this is going to allow us to cause a delay beforehand of return duration in milliseconds. And after that delay, we will then call the local respawn method. There we go. And control save. So after 3 seconds of letting go, this will respawn. Let's go ahead and wait for that to compile. Clear, world simulation off, clear, should be almost done. And clear, world simulation on, right click, preview, grab that ball, cue, and throw. 1, 2, and 3. First mistake. Oh, look, it keeps moving. And that's where we need to set the velocity to 0. And so typically, when I'm building a script like this, I make it work as I would intend, and then I discover a mistake like that, and I go, oh, I guess I'm going to have to do tab this dot entity. Come on now, keyboard, entity dot velocity. I think there's actually an option to 0 velocity if you say dot as parentheses physics entity dot 0 velocity. There it is. And that's going to remove all of the momentum off of it so that it can be set down. There is another feature called lock that might be useful for a rotating ball like this. We're not going to touch lock right now, but if we try that again, we should see that it stops it in place when it respawns. And grab, Q, and throw. 1, 2, and 3. And it's back. A little bit of bounce. And I think it is going to fall off, unfortunately. That's where that lock would come into play that I mentioned. But I think that's something else that I'd like to show you, which is almost beneficial. Can we pick it? Oh, we totally can. It's just kind of fun, right? Kind of fun. Can I kick this into the lake? There's a feature in the lake that I'd love to show you if it works. Come on now. Come on now. Kick you in. Kick you in. There you go. Roll down. And you'll notice, oh, it's not as good as, wait, it's not good at all. Did it fall through the world? Oh no, it's still down there at the bottom. That's a very heavy bouncy ball. For floating, if you wanted to make it float, we had a feature. I must have accidentally turned it off. So here on the whole lake water, I turned it all non-collidable, but I actually wanted it to be collidable, and then manually, so the surface is non-collidable, but the second plane down is collidable, but only to objects. And then this one's non-collidable, and this one's non-collidable. Okay, now that I've got that set correctly, we'll jump back into preview mode. Let simulation off and back on, preview. Grab that respawn ball here, and when I let go of it over here, drop, you're going to see it rolls on the surface. I mean, the respawn time is way too low, but you get the idea. About the move. I do like that you can kind of kick it. It'd be nice if there's a little bit more force to it. Yeah. Let's see. Not thinking about kicking it, just thinking about that layer is a little bit too low. So if I want this to behave the way that I actually want it to behave, we're going to take this plane, we're going to duplicate it, we're going to move this up a layer, and then I want to slide it up so that it's just below the surface. Right about, I don't know. Oh, it's sliding left and right. Oh, I hate when that happens. That's a really annoying bug. So we're just going to rename this and call this object collision pane. It means rocks won't sink to the bottom, like everything will float. But if we turn off visibility and just leave on collidability, we can then go to the next one and turn collidable back off. And then make sure to set it to objects only right here so that players can't collide with it. And then I need to move it up. So I can see that this lake water surface is at 002.48 and this one is at, come on now, 0.94. So for whatever reason, I need to move it on the z-axis to move it up, which is very confusing. So we'll just select it and grab X, Y, Z, RGB, so the blue axis, and we can see that moves it up. Like I said, very confusing, but it does seem to be working. All right, world simulation on. Coming over to our ball here. Come on, preview. There we go. I'm also bad with mice. Oh, come on, ball. That is not where you were supposed to go. Grab again. Q. I feel like I used to be really good at throwing on mobile, and now I'm just not. And apparently I'm going to have to kick this for this to work correctly. Oh my goodness gracious. It's way harder than it should be. Yeah, there we go. That's kind of nice. It's a little too low. Like I would raise that plane up some more. But you can see it's kind of floating, which is what we're going for. I should have not stopped the world, because if I hadn't stopped the world, I could have modified this a little bit better. Lake surface is at 2.48. I feel like this needs to go up to 1.2 to look like I want it to. Like I want it to look like it's floating on there. And to make this easier for myself, Control D, duplicate a copy and slide it over here, so it just rolls into the water. Build simulation on, go. Is that better? It's clearly better, but it's hard to see. I don't understand why the collision plane is still so far down. Oh, did I mean to do 2.2? I must have meant 2.2. Okay, click on this, click let go. There we go. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? It's just barely in the water now. Preview. It will look better for other objects that are supposed to float. For that ball specifically, and that's kind of one of those weird things that we just don't have a lot of control over in Horizon. So, I mean, you'd have to like write your own custom physics engine to make it look perfect. World simulation on, preview, which is obviously out of scope of this simple tutorial today, but yeah, that looks decent enough. Kind of bobbing a little bit. Could probably go lower, but good enough. Okay, and delete. Next up, we have to finish this off. There are quite a few things missing from our little ball here. So number one, you haven't noticed this yet, but I guess I'll demonstrate it. It's going to be kind of hard to demonstrate, but I think I can pull it off. And world simulation on, preview. When I grab this, and then I let go, and then I grab it, and I let go, it's going to return twice. So you'll see it. You can't really tell. Let me stand here, let go, grab, let go. And now it's going to return, and it's going to return again. And so the problem is when you grab it, and I think it might even actually have a bug. I haven't really played with this too much because I always remove the bug. But if we let go and grab it again, it's going to like teleport in our hand. Yeah, that little glitch there. And that's it trying to move back to its origin position. So to address that, we need to be able to cancel this set timeout when the grab start happens. So we're going to go put a return or respawn async ID equals 0. And then down here, we can say respawn async ID equals this. And when grab start occurs, we can call async dot clear timeout parentheses, and then call the respawn async ID. There we go. And that's going to clear it. Control C, Control V. We're also going to put this into respawn. If for some reason grab end is called twice without grab start occurring, for somehow like that could potentially happen, respawn will clear out the next one. So that should be the best way you can write that. So that's going to prevent that from happening. And the only other thing that we need to fix is if it got too far away from its origin position, we'd want to automatically respawn it, like if a player starts kicking it. And so we can create another variable over here, Control C, Control V, called auto respawn distance. And let's go to return duration and change this to respawn duration milliseconds. I'm going to change this to 30 seconds by default, and the auto respawn distance is going to be, we'll go with 5 meters. So if it gets over 5 meters away, it's going to auto respawn. Now, to do an auto respawn, we need to do a distance check. And to do a distance check, we don't have an event for that. So I'm thinking we create a loop. So we say loop, parentheses, curly braces. Now this loop doesn't need to run very frequently. So we can say async set interval. If you can't tell, I'm very frustrated with the layout of this keyboard. I really am. It's like I didn't know keyboards could have such different formats, but it really makes you go crazy when you have a standard you're used to. So we'll check every 1500 milliseconds, and we'll just call loop. There we go. Shift Alt F to make that pretty. There we go. And now in loop, we can say constant distance equals, and then we'll call origin position dot distance. We get the distance from the origin position to the current position. So we say this dot entity dot position dot get. And now that we have the distance, we can say if parentheses distance is greater than, and then we want to go and call if distance is greater than. Ooh, there's one more thing we have to do. We'll get to that in a second. If distance is greater than props dot auto respawn distance, we then want to cancel the previous timeout. So async dot clear timeout, parentheses, respawn async ID, and then call respawn. Now what I realized as I was thinking about this line of code is that if the player is holding it, we don't want to automatically try to return. So we need to know about when it's being held. And let's see, we go down here and type let's see, what do we want to type? Is held equals false. And then when grab start is done, we call is held and set it equal to true. And then on grab end, Control C, Control V, Alt arrow down. There we go. And then we can set this to false on grab end. And to keep this kind of, we'll keep it in the same. We'll just parallel that. All right, this changed to respawn duration milliseconds. There we go. And Control C. Okay, so now on loop, once every 1500 milliseconds, it's checking the distance to see if it's too far away, and then it's respawning if it can. And what's interesting about this is then it negates the 30-second respawn duration. So that seems like a mistake. That does seem like a mistake. So I'm thinking that this doesn't actually need grab start and grab end if we just keep with this loop. Yeah, I'm thinking that might be the case. There's no need for a grab start and grab end. Oh, I guess there is, because you need to not try to respawn when it's held. I suppose we could have a counter of some sort. I don't know. I'm going to think about it. Let's first make sure that this code is working, and then we'll come back to this. World simulation on, right-click preview, jump up, and kick it. There we go. Once it gets 5 meters away, it should start teleporting back. Perfect. Nice. Now, there is this problem with it kind of just constantly being super bouncy, so I do kind of want to try to fix that so that it actually stays in position. And I haven't used this before, so I'm a little nervous to play with it. But the idea is that on respawn, we say this.entity.lock. It must be a grabbable feature. This.entity.as parentheses. I've never used this. Maybe it's physics entity. Physical entity.lock. Locked.set to true. And if we hover over what does it say it does? If the physics system is blocked from interacting with the entity. So this stops the physics from interacting with it. So we can Control C, Control V, and then Alt arrow this up. And when grab start occurs, we can unlock it. So we can say locked equals false. So once you grab it, physics will start applying. Control save. Okay. So still thinking about this loop. I haven't come up with a solution yet. Still thinking about it. Because I want to respect the view and throw. Oh, it locked it in the wrong space. That was curious. I think you have to lock it after a brief delay. It seems like it locks it instantaneously, and the position setting and rotating takes a millisecond or two. So we need to say async dot set timeout, parentheses, arrow function, curly braces, and then comma, and we'll give it just 1 frame, so 50 milliseconds. And then pressing enter here and Alt arrow up, Control save. And now as far as this loop goes, this is a little bit more than I wanted to do. We're just going to call this the loop interval ID equals 0. This is kind of the idea I've got for this. And so right here, we can say loop interval ID equals set interval. And then I'm thinking the loop should be at the same duration as the return duration. So to go props dot auto or respawn duration milliseconds. Come on, Control C, respawn duration milliseconds. And then this loop should only run when it's returned. So when it respawns, that's when it's going to start the loop up. So we hit Control C, and then down here, right here at the beginning, I suppose, we'll start the loop interval, but we'll also async dot clear interval parentheses, and that will be the loop interval ID. So that will stop the previous interval, and then Control C, Control V. If we move this up to grab start, that will also be cleared on grab start. So there's no interval running until it eventually respawns, and then once it respawns, it starts the check interval or the check loop. Now, technically, that does mean you don't necessarily need all these checks in the if, like the wait, we didn't even do the is held check. My bad. Technically, it doesn't mean that you need this, but we should do this. So we'd say if not is held, then do this. And I think this is just extra safe in case somehow the loop starts running when it's not supposed to be. It shouldn't be possible, but like stranger things have happened. Okay. And like that, I think this respawn script is done. It's a lot more advanced than I would have expected, but it's very comprehensive. And that's important. So we'll go ahead and clear, world simulation on, right click preview. You can see it's nice and locked. We grab it, press Q, and throw. Now that's not going to return for 30 seconds. So that was kind of a mistake, but there it goes. That's a super bounce ball. Is there any other tests we can do on this? I guess once it returns, we want to try waiting that 30 seconds. So 30, I don't know, like, I don't want to count down, 15. There's another video we launched today, but if you haven't seen it, it's on splashing and swimming. Oh no, what's up with that collider? Why am I colliding with it? What's up with that collider? Wait, does this collision layer affects that collision layer? I had no idea. Okay, so you have to, well, now we know. Right click, preview. Did me going into preview mode move it back so we just like failed our test by me going into stop the world? World simulation. Let's change this delay. This delay is going to drive me nuts. Change it to only 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And world simulation on. Preview. All right, here we go. Now we can really test it. So we're going to walk around, go swimming with it for a second. Whoa. We get dragged out of my hand. Where'd it go? Well, it should have had the force release, so the loop should, like, oh, there it goes. It's returned. It did its thing. Can we not drop this? Oh my gosh. Apparently, no. We have to drop it. Yeah. Not interested. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we kick it. Oh, we can't kick it because it's no longer a physics entity. So using the locking mechanism makes that entire thing moot. I don't know what to tell you. I'm like just bamboozled here. And then it goes flying again. Wow, that thing went far. Well, I don't know. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, that's a lot. There's some things in there you might turn off. There's some things in there you might leave on. The locked mechanic, it's confusing. It's really confusing. I think I'm going to delete it. Like, I think I'm just going to go quickly delete it. But you can see why it's useful, but it also makes the whole, like, it makes a lot of the script not needed. But there's an element that I think players like kicking stuff around, and the fact that I can't kick it is not satisfying. So let's go change that, and then we'll call it. So we have locking happening, let's see, right here. So we can hit Control/ to comment that out. Double click on lock to find it. Control/ Control save. And like that, we have it left in there in case you want to turn it back on. technically we could create a Boolean and only run that code if use locking is set to true. So we'd say Control C, Control V, change this to use physics locking, change that to a Boolean, and set the default to false. And then come on down here, find the commented code, type if props dot use physics locking, curly braces, alt arrow up, control slash backspace, copy this code, control C, scroll down, control V, change this to true, shift alt F to make it pretty, shift alt F, and that should do the trick. Control save. Okay, now there's an option. You can turn it off or on. Very nice. Okay, with that, I think we are done. So with some of these, today, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but at some point these are going to get added to the asset library. We can only upload 10, and that limit of 10 is kind of like, we're not sure exactly which 10 we're going to submit to the competition, and I don't know if you can like unsubmit something if you submit it. I don't know if you can submit something after you've uploaded it. Anyway, so for now, feel free to follow this tutorial. There's a lot to take in. Thanks for joining us. If you have any questions, Discord link is in the description. Hope to see you there. Bye.